got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Welcome back. Hope you had a good weekend. My weekend was amazing. It went by like 90 going north. But it was still amazing. And it's interesting how time won't give me time, but I got time. Amazing, huh? You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. And we have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. jesseleepeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about protesting at these different universities, involved in shooting the war, trying to get across the border, or you just land out at the beach, you're smoking fentanyl, you're thinking of suicide, whatever you might be doing, you could be listening to the show by calling the listen line on TalkStream Live on your iPhone or iPad at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. Don't forget to follow us, JLP Talk on Twitter, JLP Talk on Twitter, and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Like, follow, subscribe, telephone, telegraph, tell a woman about the show. Also, you can donate and have your comments read out loud by going to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. I'm sweating because I just am. JLP Talk, all right? And rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com or Bond JLP on Cash App. Bond JLP on Cash App. Check it out. Bond JLP on Cash App. All right? So yesterday, and I'll get to your calls there in a minute here. Yesterday, we had another amazing fellowship. Every Sunday morning, we hold a fellowship at our church here. And if you were not there, because being there is even better than watching it online, even though watching it online, if you have no other choice, but being there is even more personal and, it's amazing. And so we dealt with the last week biblical question of what is the boomerang in your life? What is the boomerang in your life? And it was amazing discussion yesterday. We did something a little different than how we normally do it. And because I wanted to see for myself. I wanted to see, the people who are sincerely working on themselves and they truly want to overcome. Because a lot of times, just like with a Bible thumper, you could sit in church and just quote what the preacher say, quote what the Bible says. Or you could sit at our fellowship and just quote what I say, Sunday in and Sunday out, every Sunday or every day. You just quote it, but you don't have the understanding from it. But in your mind, you think you do, especially when you're quoted in front of someone and you get a thrill of them thinking that you know what you're talking about. Especially if somebody go, hey, man, it's over. And so I did something a little different yesterday because I wanted to see what was really going on. And it was mind-blowing. It was interesting. So if you didn't catch it live or you weren't there yesterday, you can podcast it at rebuildingtheman.com/church. rebuildingtheman.com/church. All right? So we dealt with the last week question, what is the boomerang in your life? And the boomerang in your life can be, I'll throw out ideas and you see what it is in your own life. It can be, number one, you still believe in thoughts. Thoughts get you into trouble, making you think you know what you know. And then you go back, you boomerang right back to thought to get the answer as to how to get out of the situation. And you end up back in the same situation or worse. So you keep going back to thoughts. You think that you're over anger. And then a situation arises and you're back to anger. And you thought anger and you think, wow, I thought I was over the anger. Or food or sex or whatever. Not realizing thinking these things is the problem. And so you keep thinking. The boomerang in your life is that you keep thinking. And somehow or another, you think that you're going to think your way out of these situations. And when it doesn't happen, you get another thought. Oh, I'm going to get married. I want kids. I want a family. That'll make me happy. And you think yourself right into a marriage and you catch nothing but hell. And then you tell yourself, well, you're not telling yourself that, but denying you telling yourself that, denying you that. I'm going to get out of this marriage. I'm going to divorce it. And then I'll be happy. And then I'll be happy. All you're doing is thinking yourself into deep situations and never overcoming. And then you say, I think I'm going to become a religious person. And I'm going to go to church and I'm going to learn about the Lord. And you go to church and you learn about the Lord and now you think you know about the Lord and nothing still get better for you. And you quote the scripture, you quote the scripture what you think about the Lord, but inwardly you're still miserable. You keep boomeranging right back to where you started. And you never stop to start questioning the thoughts. Why am I doing this? Why do I feel this way? Why am I attacking someone else when it's really me? It's in me. It's all in me. Anything you want, baby. It's in me. Just think about this. Consciously think about it. All of your situations, all of your problems, all of your issues, everything you are is in you. It ain't in somebody else. It's in you. It's in that cage that you live in. and you keep thinking that it's you or that it's someone else. So you keep boomeranging right back into your hell. Even when you think you're hurting others, you're really hurting yourself because you're in your cage hurting yourself. Even when you're out there trying to hurt someone else, okay, I know all your little business, I'm going to tell it. I'm mad now. I've been offended. Who has been offended? Who is the person you're talking about that has been offended? But you're boomeranging right back in your cave. It's interesting to know when you really, really, really know, meaning that you see it, but you don't think it. Because if you think it, you don't see it. That's just yet another thought. That you have no real issues. That there's no reason to be angry. Never, ever, 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 ever a reason to be angry. That you can literally lay your weapons down. You can lay your weapons down. Think about that. And end the war. You lay your weapon down, the battle is over. I was looking at a report this morning of these young folks at the universities. They're fighting against each other. Those who have joined with the Palestinians are fighting against those who have joined with the Jews. The Jews fight the Palestinians, and Palestinians fighting the Jews. And I promise you, without a doubt, I have no doubt, none of them, not one, can honestly tell you why they're fighting, other than what they have been told that it's about. And they have been told to take a side. And their fight is not solving one problem. It's not going to solve the problem, period. But they're fighting, they're like mad at one another and trying to hurt each other over opinions that have been fed to them. And it's not going to solve one thing. If the war ends between the Jews and the Palestinians, it's just going to start up somewhere else and eventually start again with them because they're fighting over thoughts and feelings and calling it something else. They have the same issues that every human being has. They're living in their imagination. Everyone does. I don't care who you are, what religion you think you belong to. It's all about you all the time and never, ever about anyone else. I saw one lady who was having to be black. She worked for the department of somebody at one of the universities. And a black lady, she said that in reality, because the kids have been brainwashed for so long now in the schools about all this stuff they've been taught, and she said that in reality, the fight is about getting rid of anything white. The white Jews, the white Christians, because they are occupying the land. So anything white is what they're trying to get rid of, and they'll brainwash the kids to support it because of the occupying of the land, occupation of the land. And you hear them saying in this country that white people are occupiers. They took the land from the Indians. And over there, they're saying the Jews are the occupiers. They took the land from the Palestinians, I guess. And the people who have been brainwashed to join state sides and fight, even if, let's say that the war ended and the Jews gave up the land and the white people just gave up all the land and they went back to the moon or wherever they came from, the people who are fighting ain't going to get 1 acre of the land. The kids ain't going to get one piece of the land at all. And then the fight will start between that particular government and the people over there. It's a spiritual fight, folks. It's not physical at all. So stop. Pay attention. You're being played. You're being used. Our government using us, all government used the citizens. And they sacrifice the citizens' lives. They'll let you get killed. They'll blow you up. They'll blow you away. And it all depends on which side you're on that you'll feel bad about it. If you're on the side of the Jews, you're going to feel awful when the kids and the people are killed. Oh, I feel so bad for them. But when the kids and the people are killed on the other side, you feel nothing. Or if you're on the side of Palestine, you're going to feel bad when the kids of Palestine are killed. But when the kids of the Jews are killed, you don't feel nothing. Oh, they're occupiers. See how phony and evil that is? But you don't pay attention to yourself to really and truly see the game that evil is playing upon you. And all of your ideas, all of your plans and your thoughts and your ideas are not your own. You're being controlled. Just think about the fact that human beings fight one another, try to hurt one another. That alone should say, well, you know, something's wrong with this. I'm a human being, that's a human being. Why are we fighting one another? We were all created by God. Who is causing us to do this? Who is causing me to try to hurt my fellow man? When Christ said, pray for your fellow man. Go to your fellow man. Pray for your fellow man. You don't do that. The devil said, hurt your fellow man. You do that. And you don't think about it. Why don't you think about what's happening in your own life? Why don't you think, oh, I love this person as long as this person agree with me and make me feel good. And as soon as this person make me feel bad, that's my enemy. I'm creating an enemy out of that person. And you blame the person saying that that's your enemy, but you created the enemy. And feeling good and feeling evil are both evil. It's both evil. And evil give you excuses both ways. I'm telling you this because if you can see it for yourself, you in your world will be free. In the hell of a world that's happening around you. And you need to bank on this one. You can invest in it. You can bank on it. You can get high dividends from it. If a person would turn on you, if a person would turn on one person, they'll turn on the next one. They'll turn on you. It's the same spirit. Whether it's your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister, your husband, your wife, your children, your friends, your workers, your co-workers, your boss, members of the church, if they turn on one, they will turn on all. They just haven't turned on you yet because you haven't crushed their ego. You make their egos feel good, and they need that. Because in their imagination, they think that they're what they're not. They think they have friends. They think they have this. They think they have that. But it's the same spirit. It's evil. Christ said, do not trust an angry person. Anyone that has any iota of anger cannot be trusted. They are a murderer. You need to pay attention so the truth can protect the real you. And the truth would allow the not you to die spiritually. The spirit of evil must die. In order to enter into the kingdom of heaven, the spirit of anger must die. It's not going to get in. You can pretend that it's in, that you're in. You can quote the scripture. You can quote what I say or anyone said, but you ain't in there. You can think you're in there, but you're not because you quote well. And you feel good in quoting. And people look at you with glassy eyes, and you feel good because they're looking at you, thinking that you know what you're talking about, and you feel good that they think that you know, and they don't know you're miserable on the inside. Because as soon as the audience is gone, you boomerang right back into your loneliness, your fears, your doubts, your emotions. You're searching for relief. If you pay attention to all yourself, you can overcome all this stuff. And one last thing about that, you could bank on this. God's kingdom is not in time. It's not in time at all. It's not in the past. It's not in the future. It's not yesterday. And it's not tomorrow. It's right here, right now, all the time. Right here, right now, all the time. It's always now. It's never the future or the past. And I would suggest that you stop letting time, which is of the devil, which is evil, steal your now. You don't have to let it steal your present. It's just you're too lazy to pay attention and keep it from doing it by being aware. And so you love your hell, and you get life from trying to inflict your hell upon someone else. But I would suggest you stay present. You practice it. You do the silent prayer morning and night. During the day, keep your mind where your body is. And one day, you will forget the old nature, and you will wake up to the new nature. And it's nothing, zero, nothing like what you can imagine. You can't even imagine what it's like. Any imagination about it is just imagination. Just thoughts is not real. The mind cannot conceive the things of truth, of God. So you might as well stop trusting your mind if you want to be free. You want a thoughtless life. A life without thinking about it, but to just live it. But you got to let yourself descend down into hell so you can rise and live. But as long as you're protecting that and then blaming others for it, hell and damnation is yours. I would practice living in the present if I were you. That's what I do. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that's what I do. And it's just been amazing what I've come to understand. Lay your weapon down. I don't care who else hold on to theirs. Let the people fight in their little rallies. Let them take sides and think they know what they're talking about and destroy themselves, because that's all that's happening. And the side and the people that they think they're protecting can care less about them. Zero. That's why they brainwash them, so they can use them in order to gain perceived power, wealth for themselves. They don't care if y'all kill one another. They don't care if you fight one another. They don't care. You've been set up for that purpose. They don't care if a bomb fall on you, or some person with a suicide belt walks in the midst of you, or you get shot, you get killed. Look what's happening in our country. People getting killed all the time. You think the government or the media or anyone care? You don't even care, to be honest. Women getting mugged and raped and killed in the streets. Businesses are getting so-called snatch and grab. The border is wide open. Oil prices going through the roof, and now they're saying because of the war over yonder, the oil prices are going to get worse. And if you really pay attention, they're talking about giving Israel, the Palestine, Iran, or somebody, and Ukraine more money. More money. Think about this. Because they're trying to help them when they're doing absolutely nothing at home. Zero. Not one dime. Ain't no money for Americans to be safe. Police bring back the cops, close the borders, ship the illegals back, get rid of the drugs. drill oil here. They're doing, think about that. They're literally doing nothing. It's like a man meeting another woman. He's married with a family. He meet another woman who either been married, has children, and she live across the road. And this man go move in with her and feed this woman and her children while right across the road, his own children and wife, ex-wife, whatever you want to call it, are starving. And he doesn't lay one hand down to do anything about it. That's how we've been treated in this country. And then they'll go on TV and give emotional speeches, and then you'll go vote for them. Make you want to cuss. You're not, and I don't care what party you belong to. How come common sense don't kick in? Why are these people not doing anything for America? Not one thing to improve the country. But they're constantly begging for billions of dollars for other countries. How come they love them more than they love home? And how can you love, if you love them, why don't you love home as much? You can't love one. You can't hate one, but love the rest. If you don't love all, you love none. But I want you to really pay attention. They're doing absolutely nothing, the Democrats or the Republicans, and the media is supporting them. And then the news now is mostly about the war and little or nothing about what's still happening in our country because the voting time is coming. They don't want you to remember this. They want your focus on what they want you to focus on, just like the devil wants you to focus on what he wants you to focus on, and that is on somebody else and not yourself. It's a spiritual battle. And you're letting evil win inside of you, and just as it wins inside of you, it's winning on the outside of you as well, because you're controlled by the world. You think you got a battle going. And you think that complaining about what somebody else is doing is going to make you free. All the thing it does is enhance your ego. It makes you feel like you're doing something important. If you look around, ain't nothing changing. And you've been out there making a fool of yourself, and nothing is changing. And the people with the money, with the fame, and whatever you're trying to get, they're gone with theirs. And they'll use you. When will you wake up? And if you're going to wake up? I know some will, most won't. Some hate their hell, and they try to overcome it. Most love their hell, and they stay in it and want to inflict it on you. Brand new biblical question. To whom or what are you loyal and why? Hassan, read that again.
To whom or what are you loyal and why?
Amazing question. I hadn't heard that word in so many years. I can honestly tell you, I forgot about that word. And when I heard it, it just hit me. I'm like, what the? It's a deep word. It's a real deep word. And when I asked it yesterday in the fellowship, I was surprised at the number of people who think about that word all the time. And I guess I don't want to add anything else, but they think about it all the time. Think about it all the time. I never get it out of my mind because I love you. I got a sweet sensation I don't want to get over. 888-7753-773. Back in a moment. Steve, thank you for calling and thanks for holding. How have you been helped by the show?
I'm going to tell you this. I believe you might go down in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, black man that ever lived on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know anybody before you that's been that great. You know, freeing the slaves is one thing, but you've been freeing people of their mind, which matters, it should be anyhow, to you more than anything else, because with the mind not being right, there ain't nothing else going to happen right anyway.
If you can doubt every thought because you're not your thoughts, if you can doubt every thought, knowing that you're not your thoughts, you don't create them, they're not from God, that they're from the deceiver, the great deceiver, Satan. If you can doubt every thought, you can be free, just like that. At an instant. Bring every thought into captivity. It's so amazing. If you clear your mind, the rest will follow. You want a clear mind, not a clogged mind, not a confused mind, but a clear mind. And only you can work on that. No human being can help you arrive at a clear mind. And then the boomerang will end. It will not come back. The Hake Report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. TheHakeReport.com, and at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby at 12 noon Pacific Time. I'm going to get to your Super Chats here in a moment. 888-7753-773. 888-77 Jesse. Let me go to a first-time caller out of Georgia. Georgia on my mind. First-time caller, Jay, out of Atlanta, Georgia. Jay, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Jesse.
Yes, sir.
Wanted to say just thank you for the work and love you guys and everything that you do.
Thank you.
And I did want to ask you something.
Ask.
What is the difference, or why were we taught the Lord's Prayer if it's just a bunch of hooping and hollering?
What's the difference in what's the difference in why you were taught it?
Yes, why is it in the Bible? Why did Jesus present us with the Lord's Prayer if it's considered hooping and hollering?
Why did Jesus teach us the Lord's Prayer instead of hooping and hollering?
Or why did he teach us the Lord's Prayer if it is hooping and hollering? How come he didn't teach us to pray in a silent prayer way? In a silent prayer way, I do feel like it's more powerful. Not more powerful, but I do feel like it works. I have tried the silent prayer, and I do feel like it's more productive than just saying a bunch of words. So I was just wondering why the Lord's Prayer was presented to us. Or why do you think?
Well, the Lord's Prayer was presented to you at the time because that's the way that people need to pray. But the silent, be still and know, the silent prayer is the Lord's Prayer. And you will have the Spirit, now that you have the Spirit, the Holy Spirit to intercede on your behalf, when you let go, you will see that the Lord is your shepherd. When you let go and let life happen, you will see that you feel no evil. You will see that everything provided. To let go is the Lord's Prayer. And the Lord's Prayer is the silent prayer. Except for now you have the Spirit, which is the Holy Spirit, the teacher inside of you, whereas they didn't have that beforehand.
Okay. because they didn't have the Holy Spirit to intercede at that time?
Right.
Ah, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
And I'm telling you, if you stay with the silent prayer, just stay with it, do it. And if once in a while you want to do the Lord prayer, say the words, you can. But you got to see clearly and without a doubt that the silent prayer is everything that the Lord's Prayer is talking about. It's the same thing.
Wow.
You're letting go and letting the Lord will be done. You are forgiving others as you are being forgiven. All that is happening when you let go because the ego is dying and the Lord's Prayer is coming alive. You're starting to do what it says.
Sure. Yeah, I definitely feel like there's more energy and more power in me now since I've been doing the silent prayer. So I thank you for that. Absolutely amazing.
Amazing. Are you doing it morning and night?
Yes, sir. Morning and night. I'm trying to do it for longer periods. Right now, it's just like 10, 15 minutes. I'm trying to extend it a bit more and see what comes of it.
Well, as you see those thoughts, you're overcoming them, and you're going to find yourself just naturally sitting and doing it, being aware longer. It'll happen naturally. Awesome. And then during the day, practice keeping your mind where your body is so that you don't keep letting evil pull you out of the present into time, into past or future.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go and forgive your mother, Jay?
Yes, sir, I did.
How did it go?
It went great. She was very receptive. I mean, she's always been great, but I do feel there was definitely some spoiling going on in my earlier years.
Right.
But she was very receptive to it.
Good.
Same with my father. And we do have a great relationship, I feel.
Well, stay with the prayer, man. Just stay with it. I don't care what happened on the outside. If the whole world turned against you, that's fine. You stay with the prayer, and you're going to be it's going to blow your mind.
Thank you, Jesse. Really appreciate you. I love you, brother, in Christ.
You too, man.
You guys keep doing the good work. It'll be maybe returned onto you guys 100-fold.
Right on. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jesse. Take care.
All right, you too. 888-7753-773. There's a line open now. Super chat.
Super chats.
Super.
Leslie bought 3 coffees. I believe this was Friday late or over the weekend. I appreciate y'all for the hard work. I'm working on myself since my friend put me on since last month. Smiley face. Question. Should I forgive my older brother too? He was at one point almost a dad to me growing up. But I now see I hold resentment towards him because he turned out to be a major beta over the years. COVID made it worse, by the way. Or just my parents. Do I just only forgive my parents? Thank you again.
So are they resenting the brother because he's a beta?
Leslie, I believe, is resenting her brother who turned into like a dad for him. For her, I mean.
But then he turned out to be a beta, she said.
Yeah.
So is she resenting him for being a dad to her or being a beta?
I'm not sure.
Well, you don't. I don't know clearly how to respond to the last part of your question about resenting your brother, because it sounds like you resent your brother because you believe he's a beta, but you don't have a right at all to resent anyone for what they are. It's like we talked yesterday about in the fellowship. One young lady was saying she see how evil she is, and that instead of pointing the finger at somebody else, she need to totally be pointing it at herself. So it's your fault if you resent your brother for being a beta, but if you do resent him because he was your pretense father or whatever, yes, you forgive, and your parents as well. I'm not sure about the question. If you call me, I can do a follow-up question. Maybe I can get it clear. Thank you.
Gregory G. bought 5 coffees. It is now 6:46 p.m. Texas time. I just finished watching the Get It Off Your Chest Friday show. I had a great time listening in. Jesse, you along with your staff are blessed. Thank God for this platform, and Jesse is 100% right. All thoughts are all lies all the times. 3 strong arm emojis.
Thank you. human beings do not understand the depths of how all thoughts are all lies all the time, and there's never any answers. There's no freedom in thoughts, no way out as long as you're into thoughts. If you understood that alone, you would stick with overcoming the thought and never blame anyone else again. Really. The thoughts are lies, folks. Adam had a no-thought life with his father. And likewise, you can too. Practical thoughts about what you're going to eat, you're going to pay your insurance bill today or next week. That kind of stuff, but you're not living by that. But all other thoughts about you and life are lies. Amazing. Thank you.
Oh, Lord, save me, with underscores, bought a coffee. Biblical answer from the boomerang question.
What is the boomerang in your life?
Owning a boomerang suggests that you are still identifying with ego. Observe the world around you, and you'll notice the irrational actions people take daily, for which even they cannot provide a reasonable explanation as to why. Submit to God's will constantly, and over time, you'll begin to discern the stark difference between God's will and that of the mind. Make it a habit to remain present throughout each day. Once God liberates you from this mental imprisonment, you'll finally be able to see and comprehend the miracle that must have occurred to free you from there, a place in which very few seem to ever have broken free from. I can only speak from my own experience. I wouldn't risk returning to that state again. Thank you.
I'm waiting for the answer for what is the boomerang in life.
That's where they stopped.
That part.
No, I didn't skip anything.
Well, they didn't respond to the boomerang in their life. I thought you said it was.
They claimed it was a biblical answer. I just read it. Don't harass me.
No, I was waiting for the answer. I thought maybe somewhere in there they're gonna tell us what was the boomerang in their life.
Yeah, he or she said that he wouldn't risk returning to that state again.
Well, what was it? So they really didn't answer what's the boomerang.
Right.
Come on, man. Okay. It reminded me of, and thank you. It reminded me of yesterday when I did things a little differently. So I would have someone to talk about something, and then I would have two people to ask that person a question. And I noticed nearly every time, instead of just asking that person a question, they pretend they were asking a question, but they had the answer too. They would give it the person the answer and not a question. Did you notice that?
I didn't pick up on that explicitly.
Ooh, the mind is a mess. They wouldn't just say, you know how this young lady said that she went out on a date?
Yeah.
And on the date, her mind was trying to tell her how the date should go.
Right.
And so I asked, and I'm just using that as an example. So I said, okay, I want you two people, and I forgot who I asked to do that, to ask her a question when she's done. But they gave the answer. They gave her an answer, and so I asked her, well, how did that date turn out?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want to know, what did you learn by realizing that your mind was trying to make you do? But nobody really asked a question. They were just giving answers. And the devil always wants you to look good, so he always be trying to make you give an answer.
Dang.
You didn't notice that?
No, I didn't notice. I was busy taking notes.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm taking notes during church, am I paying attention?
No.
I'm taking notes on what's said.
And I'm hoping people would pay attention to that within themselves, and they would think, you know what, I didn't really ask the question. I gave her an answer. And she wasn't looking for an answer.
Yeah.
It was interesting. But that's how the mind works.
Yeah.
Once you think you know the answer, the mind wants you to promote that. And every little opportunity you get, if it says, ask me a question, if someone says, ask me a question, instead of you asking the question, you're giving them an answer. It's just like a Bible thumper. Amazing.
Interesting.
Nice.
Stephen from Rotterdam, the Netherlands, bought 2 coffees. When you are still, words are superfluous. Love y'all at Bond. Amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate your superfluous.
Superfluousness?
What does that mean?
Extra, unnecessary, redundant.
Oh, nice.
Well,
thank you.
Chill and Lean bought a coffee. Jesse, not sure you've heard about Sidney Powell, but Trump said yesterday that she was never his attorney. I clearly remember seeing her in November 2020 after the election, representing him along with Giuliani. This will be one of the few times I've heard Trump outright lie. I know the media makes him out to be a constant liar, but this one seems to be a lie. Am I missing something?
First of all, I don't know who Sidney Powell is.
You interviewed her several years ago.
I did?
Yep.
What the?
She was an old school lawyer type of a gal, who wrote a book like Crimes of the FBI or something like that. Or, I don't know. But
I interviewed on the Fallen State or the radio
on the radio show.
Oh, yeah?
Before the Fallen State existed, I think. Or right around that same time.
Well, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. 2016, 2015. But I don't know if she was his lawyer. She was up on stage with maybe him and his fellow, the so-called team. But that doesn't mean that she was hired by the campaign team, because she was a prominent person. Trump mentioned that that she did a good job representing General Flynn. Remember General Flynn, the NSA head, Trump supporter?
Yeah.
She represented him, and she did some other great things, but it doesn't mean that she was hired by the campaign team. She was just a prominent person who was allowed to be on stage with them, but they distanced themselves pretty quickly from her.
Oh, nice. So hopefully that's your answer.
Yeah.
Because why would Trump, if she was his lawyer, why would he lie and say she wasn't?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. Everybody going to know she was your lawyer.
He posted a tweet back in November about her being on the team.
Uh-huh.
But again, that doesn't mean that she was his personal lawyer, nor even his campaign team lawyer.
I hope that helped you, because I don't know. I don't remember her at all. Maybe if I saw her face, it would come back.
Yeah.
But I don't remember her at all, so I personally cannot respond to that. But hopefully what Hake, the hate news, not the fake news, but what Hake just said, that helped you out. Thank you.
Yeah, my answer is I don't know.
How you remember her for so long ago?
Oh, it was a great interview. You liked her. She was kind of old school. 2014, Sidney Powell on DOJ corruption, Obama holder, Loretta Lynch, pre-Clinton, licensed to lie, exposing corruption in the Department of Justice was what you interviewed her about. And
so why did that become an issue about her being his lawyer or not?
Because she pleaded guilty to some misdemeanor. They overcharged her with a bunch of felonies. And then they said, oh, do this plea deal for a misdemeanor. And so she has to pay like $3,000 and agreed to testify supposedly against Trump. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, so she turned it on Trump?
According to the mainstream media, but Trump.
Oh, yeah, you don't know yet.
Yeah, I don't know what she's, if she is or not.
Yeah.
You know, you get charged with all this persecution from the government.
Right.
And then you take a plea deal, and then they accuse you of betraying your fellow people.
Right.
But you may or may not be doing that. I don't know.
Yeah. What? So I don't know about all that mess.
Yep.
It is interesting. I don't know that she's doing this at all because I don't know about this, right? But it is interesting how people can turn on you just like that. And I know why, but it's interesting. But I'm not saying Sidney Powell, that's her name, is doing this or not, because I don't know anything about this story, haven't heard anything. But thank you.
Nice. Thank you, Chill and Lean. Marcus bought 2 coffees. Church was amazing today, meaning yesterday.
It was.
I noticed this afternoon while playing basketball, practicing shots, that the devil even gets involved with that.
Yeah.
I noticed that I get thoughts about what was wrong with my shot to make me miss. Then I respond verbally, affirming the thought. That's crazy, or am I crazy? The thoughts were so quick and subtle that they can be hard to catch, but I'm working on it.
Nice. Stay with it. I'm telling you, if you stay with it, watching it the way you are, even when you play ball, they're going to become weaker and weaker and weaker. And you would just play ball, and you're used to thoughts as a tool to play ball, but you wouldn't be lost in them thinking that they're real. Amazing. And the thought will get involved with everything. If you wake up, you know that tomorrow morning you're going to the gym, the first thing it'll tell you when you wake up, you don't feel like going to the gym now. Go later. Have some breakfast now. It's too early. But I'm like, why do you want to stop me from going to the gym? That doesn't even make sense, but it gets involved with everything. That's why it must die. The ego must die. Amazing. Thank you.
Being enlightened till I rise on Rumble is a monthly Rumble supporter. Thank you, man. A subscriber.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you.
Says, morning, y'all. It's Monday. Once again, amazing.
Rainy days and Mondays always get me down.
Indeed.
Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. You heard that song?
I have. The Carpenters.
Yeah. You heard that, Hassan?
Stop pushing that button.
I think I had heard it, but my guess would have been Janis Joplin, but...
It does sound like it's a Janis Joplin song, but it was...
Whoever that is.
You don't remember Janis Joplin, one of those rock and roll kind of people?
Oh, she's not even black.
Hanging around, nothing to do but frown. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down.
What a voice
Thank
from
you.
heaven.
Amazing!
Someone bought a coffee. Even though I am praying every morning and every night, sometimes when I really come to the present moment, I realize, wow, it's actually been a few days since I've really been present. This kind of scares me that I can just go days at a time without being truly present. I want to stay present with God. Help!
And when that happens, it's enough to just realize it, and you'll find yourself staying present even more so. Don't freak out. Don't call it good or bad. Just be aware. Do nothing else but be aware of it. And the awareness will cause you to be present even more so. All right? Just imagine living a lifetime in the darkness of your imagination. How much hell that must be. So stay with it. You're doing fine.
Beta no more with a coffee. My question is for the crew. When people find out you work with JLP, do they purposely try to make you mad by talking bad about Jesse just to see if they can get a reaction out of you? I don't know. I don't know if that's happened to me. Sometimes people will be like, no. You go on a date or whatever, and then they find out you work for JLP and they look them up on Wikipedia. I'm so disappointed. Anyway.
Amazing.
Beta no more about another coffee. I have proof mothers are evil. Try telling the mother the baby doesn't look like her or her evil family. See how she reacts.
It's
LOL.
over. That poor baby, your life is done. Amazing. We have to pick it up on the other side of this. 888. Thank you all. Thank you very much. 888-7753-773. When I come back, 2 more hours to go. Your phone calls and more your super chat. The hate news, not the fake news now. I'll be back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, and individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy. They're miserable. They have rough lives. They're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. 888-777-5373. 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. 888-777-5373. 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. 888-777-5373. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven.
whole lot of mess going on in the world, including the Israel-Hamas war drama and the phony speaker in name only fight. Who cares? This is the end of hour 1 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Monday. Everybody loves Mondays. October 23rd, AD 2023. Stay tuned for hour 2. JLP will be right back to your calls. There is one line open. You can call in right now during Hake News, not fake news. JLP will get right back to you. Great church service yesterday, rebuildingtheman.com/church, guys and gals. For the audio podcast, find it on alternative platforms as well as Bond YouTube channel. Concerns of further escalation in the Israel-Hamas war, according to the far-left female-run outlet The Skim, in response to the October 7th terror attack a couple of weeks ago. Israel launched airstrikes in Gaza and the West Bank. Thousands killed. The strike at a mosque in the West Bank, a rare move for Israel. The Israeli military claims the strike was designed to thwart an imminent terror attack, so they claim. Palestinians worry violence is spreading. The U.S. and European governments reportedly pushing Israel to hold off on a ground invasion of Gaza, hoping to secure the release of an estimated 200 hostages still held by Hamas. 2 American hostages released, Judith Raanan, Raanan is her last name, and her 17-year-old daughter, Natalie. Congratulations, ladies. As the war rages on, the humanitarian crisis in Gaza is worsening. Humanitarian, liberal buzzword. Even as limited aid made its way through the Rafah crossing with Egypt. Doctors reportedly performing surgeries on the floor without enough anesthesia. But that's the old days, huh? Israel warned Palestinians in northern Gaza to evacuate again, but many are struggling to find anywhere safe to go. All tensions threaten to pull in other players in the Middle East, by the way. All eyes are on Iran, including yours, but you don't know it. And its proxy militant groups in Lebanon and Syria. In Lebanon, the Iran-backed Hezbollah group has continued to exchange gunfire, that is, with Israeli forces in the north, leading Israel to evacuate tens of thousands of residents. Wow. In Syria, Israel reportedly fired missiles at the Damascus and Aleppo international airports. Whoa! Apparently taking them out of service. Meanwhile, Iran continues to threaten Israel directly, saying anything is possible at any given moment. Whoa. Through all of it, the delicate peace between Israel and neighboring Arab states like Egypt continues to be tested. Biden's pretending to stand firmly with Israel. Does he stand firmly at all? Anyway, pushing for humanitarian aid in Gaza. There's that liberal buzzword again. The U.S. has also sent aircraft carriers to the region, warned that American troops in the Middle East are facing an increased risk of attack. Thanks a lot, Sleepy Joe. Thanks, Obama. Part 3. At home, the U.S. public opinion polls show broad support for Israel in the wake of the deadly attacks, while rallies across New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago, Chi-Town, and more drew thousands of protesters in support of Palestinians. The tensions have spilled beyond college campuses, drama, just like what JLP was talking about earlier this hour, into corporate boardrooms and the entertainment industry. Anyway, French and Canadian intelligence have determined that last week's deadly hospital attack was due to a misfired rocket from Palestinian militants. Like you didn't already know that 3 days ago, 4 or 5 days ago, whenever it was. Mirroring assessments from the United States, Israel, and media outlets like the far-left extremist outlet AP, Associated Press, who initially, I heard, got it wrong. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza is worsening. Hospitals are running low on fuel, threatening those on incubators, and doctors say they have until tomorrow at the latest before the medical system collapses. What a mess. In Congress, House Republicans scrambling to elect a new Speaker of the House, voting to push Jim Jordan out of the race on Friday, they did. Jim Jordan's no longer in the running. Lots of chaos, right? 9 new candidates entered the race for the gavel. Tom Emmer, House Majority Whip, blah, 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 blah. And we'll see what happens. Who cares? I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 2.
got to stand up strong. Ain't the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. Good morning. There is a line open if you want to jump in there. One line open, 888-77-53773. 888-77-JESSE. JESSE. Brand new biblical question for this week. If you didn't hear yesterday, you can podcast yesterday fellowship. We talked about it at rebuildingtheman.com/church, all right? rebuildingtheman.com .church or /church. And we responded to it. The biblical question for this week: to whom or what are you loyal? Loyal. And why? I didn't know I couldn't say that word until I started saying it. Well, no wonder I forgot it. To whom or what are you loyal and why? I was really honestly surprised when I asked the people, have you heard that word? Are you that way? Like everybody, like, yeah, I think about it all the time. Well, not everyone, but most people at Yesterday Fellowship. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. jesseleepeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about doing whatever you're doing and you don't have time to watch the show live, you know you can podcast it later, but you want to hear it while you're doing what you're doing, call the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us on rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson and cozy.tv/JLP talk. No, I'm sorry. cozy.tv/JLP. cozy.tv/JLP. Like, follow, ring the bell, subscribe, and tell everybody. Y'all know what to do. And don't forget to get your comments read out loud. You can donate and have your buymeacoffee.com/JLP talk. buymeacoffee.com/JLP talk. And rebuildingtheman.com. rebuildingtheman.com or Bond JLP Cash App. Bond JLP on Cash App there. All right. Before I go back to the callers, I've been saying forever and a day and ever and ever and ever and ever that there's no such thing as a free will, that you do not have a free will. Let me drink some water. Excuse me. Anyone that tells you that you have a free will, they are your enemy. Run, don't walk away from them. You do not have a free will. And you can find out for yourself if you doubt me. And you should. Don't just believe me because I said it. You need to see it for yourself. No free will. And you can test it. If you have a free will yourself to never get angry again. Will yourself to have perfect peace. Will yourself not to ever get lonely again. Will yourself not to try to get revenge. Will yourself not to have fear. Not to worry. Take your little free will, see what happens. What the? I have more proof that there's no free will. This is from MSN. It's so crazy that, well, I understand how the thoughts work. To believe that you have a free will and yet you can't will yourself free. Why don't you question that? MSN is reporting, after more than 40 years studying humans, Stanford University neurobiologist Robert Sapolsky has reached the conclusion that human behavior is beyond our control. Human behavior is beyond our control. Listen to this. This is so deep. A man who shot into a crowd has no more control over his fate than the victim who happened to be shot in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's deep. Watch this from, hold on. Huberman Lab clip. Watch this.
I don't think we have a shred of free will. 95% of philosophers, and I think probably the majority of neuroscientists, saying that we have free will in at least some circumstances. I don't think there's any at all. You do something, you behave, you make a choice, whatever. To understand why you did that, where did that intention come from? Part of it was due to the sensory environment you were in the previous minute. Some of it is from whether you had a wonderful or stressful last 3 months and what sort of neuroplasticity happened. Part of it is what hormone levels you were exposed to as a fetus. Part of it is what culture your ancestors came up with and thus how you were parented when you were a kid. There's no space in there to fit in a free will concept that winds up being, in your brain, but not of your brain. Where people go off the rails is translating that into, we can change ourselves. We can't, because there's no free will.
That's deep. Now, all of it, except, all of the things he named, the real deal is come from hating, being angry. And another spirit, which is evil, take over and recreate your nature from innocent to evil, from good to evil. And 99.9%, no, but 99.99999% of the time, it comes from mama. The moment, and I don't care what color you are, where you are, the moment you become angry at mama, when you're a little kid, your nature starts to change from good to evil. Good is of God, evil is of the devil. And that's what controls you. You become like what you hate in your imagination and emotion. You become just like your mama. It's not your mama, but it's the spirit that's in her. You do not. And that's what influences you. If you really think about some of the things you do and some of the things you think and some of the ways you feel, you'll start to see, this ain't me. I would never make myself do this. I would never make myself feel this way. I would never do this. I would never feel this way, even though the women be trying to promote emotions as good, and everybody should be emotional. They're working for evil, by the way, because Satan is a woman's god, right? Everybody should be emotional. They are in misery by being emotions, and they want you in there with them, because all people hell want to drag you down to hell with them. But you become like what you hate. And that's what controls you. That's why you have to overcome thoughts by dying from them. Let them die from your body and mind. You are not your thoughts. And the sooner you stop trusting them, the quicker you'll be free. And I know that when you're dying from believing in thoughts, you're going to feel afraid. Like, who am I then? What will I be? You are afraid to not trust thoughts. Isn't that amazing? And it's not you, it's the thoughts that trembling about leaving you, because evil lives in human beings. Even Batman. Remember Batman? Batman. 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 Even Batman. Hake said that's the wrong melody. I got a song, I ain't got no melody. Let the bad guy win every once in a while. I got a step, I ain't got no dance. Will it go around in circles? Even Batman doesn't have a free will. Now, if Batman ain't got no free will, you know we ain't got no free will. YouTube and fandom. YouTube and fandom. This is from YouTube and fandom. Speaking of Batman not having a free will, Batman is a 1960s television series. Adam West's portrayal of Batman is famous for being comedic and insincere compared to previous versions. And some of you older folks may remember Batman, may recognize this. Watch this photo. See, Batman. Batman. That's not the right melody for it.
It sounds good to me.
That's all right to me, too. I see his bat wings as I sing it. What was the melody, Hake? He doesn't know. What was the melody for Batman?
Now you threw me off. Batman. Batman. Batman.
That's what you did.
Batman.
Oh no, that's exactly what I did.
You're lying. You didn't. Well, you sang off key.
Batman.
That's completely different.
Different than what?
I mean, it's close enough.
Let
People
me hear
know
you say
it. And then Nick said that yours was kind of like the transition.
Batman.
Do it again.
Batman.
No, it's you don't. You're not using enough syllables.
Let me hear yours.
Batman.
Whatever, Hake. Whatever.
I gotta go.
Thank you. So even Batman didn't have a free will. Watch this about the life of Adam West and see that. So Sean said that it's not. What? Are you still spelling it the same way? What the? Oh, joke. I want you to hear the story about Batman and see how and if does it applies to your life. Are you going through the same thing or have gone through the same thing or similar? And do you still think you have a free will? Here's the life of Adam West, the Batman guy. From Wikipedia, Adam West was born on September 19, 1928. Wow, I didn't know he was that old. What the? In Walla Walla. That's Batman Town. Doesn't it sound like Batman? Walla Walla, Washington. Watch this from Cool Classics.
Adam West. You probably know him from playing Batman on the Batman 66 TV series. He was born September 19th, 1928 in Seattle's Swedish hospital. His father, Otto West Anderson, was 25 at the time and the son of Swedish immigrants. His mother, Audrey Spear, was 22 at the time of his birth, and she was a very flamboyant beauty queen. As a young woman, Audrey had been studying to be a concert pianist, but she won a scholarship to study opera in Los Angeles, so her and Otto moved to Hollywood Hills, and that's where she pursued a career in Hollywood. After chasing her Hollywood dreams for 3 years with little success, that's when she had Billy and ended up just moving back to Washington. Now, Adam says in his autobiography that his mother became very bitter. She was upset that stardom had eluded her. She started to say things to Adam such as, "If I never would have had you, I could have stayed in Hollywood until I got my big break." He said, "Even as a young kid, I understood and felt the power in those words. This was a very heavy burden for me to carry."
Amazing, huh? My mama don't like you. She likes everyone. Amazing. And Wikipedia is also reporting more on Adam West. See if this applies to you in any form or fashion at all. And be honest with yourself. You don't have to say it out loud, but at least don't lie to yourself about this evil stuff, right? In order to overcome it, you must be born again. So, according to Wikipedia, he moved to Seattle with his mother when he was 15, following his parents' divorce. Watch this from Cool Classic.
Adam says that by the time he was 10 years old, his mother was out of control. He came home from school early one day, and he found his mother having sex with the priest from the church. And then my mother tells me that I better not say anything. He said, "I was so confused. I knew this was wrong, but I wasn't supposed to say. And I felt sorry for my father. He was a kind and decent man." Now, when he was 14 years old, things changed drastically overnight. His mother had been secretly having an affair with the neurosurgeon Paul Flathow. One day, she took the boys, left, filed for divorce, and then eventually married this man. He said all of a sudden, him and his brother John are living in a strange house with a strange man, and his father isn't anywhere around. And this house wasn't normal. He said it was huge. The whole town called it the Stone Mansion. He said, "Well, my mother got as close as she could to fame. Now she had status. She could start entertaining famous people again."
Wow. See how the ego works? Anything for the ego. You can't get the fame, you get the status, you get something, and you have nothing. Poor boy, huh? Wikipedia. West was married 3 times. So you see the trauma he went through that came through his mother. I've told you once, I've told you twice, I've told you 1,000 times, and I will continue to tell you, the hell come through the woman. Because Satan is a woman's God until she's born again of the Father, the true God, from above and not from below. The hell comes through the woman. And it doesn't matter if she had the man's children. That hell in her will destroy those children to get what she wants. Because in hell there is no love. Anyone that try to hurt you have no love. Zero. They ain't trying to help you. You see the hell that Adam went through? Every woman he got involved with was his mama. So he was still living in hell, not only within himself, but every woman he got involved with. I'm telling you, it was the same spirit of the mama. Wikipedia. West was married 3 times. His first marriage was to his college girlfriend. The couple divorced 6 years later. Cool classic. Watch this.
I was a young man living in a beach paradise with beautiful women all around. Then one night I seen this woman dancing. Her name was Na, and I fell in love. Well, before long, the two of them ended up getting married, and within 2 years, they had a son named Hunter and a daughter named Janelle. He was on TV over 25 times per year, which meant he didn't have a lot of time at home. And in his absence, his wife tells him that she fell in love with another man and she wanted a divorce. Well, this devastated him. He said this was the first time that he turned to alcohol, not for fun or to party, but to drown his sorrows. But instead, it made him even more depressed and angry.
Amazing. Does this sound like your life? Now we let anger go? Anger is a trauma. You're not stuck in it if you don't want to be. You're not stuck there if you don't want to be, but if you want to be, stay there. Adam repeated exactly what his father did. He got married to a woman that's cheated on. His father, wife did the same thing, his mother. And because he hated it, he became like what he hated. And he ended up repeating the same like generation after generation. Generation after generation. This is from historylink.org. Adam West always suspected that his mother resented his success and that his mother's ambitions had somehow transferred to him. West describes her as headstrong, alcoholic, and manic depressive. Watch this from Cool Classic.
All the children were watching the show. The teens and 20-somethings, well, they were tuning in because of all the pop culture references of the time. And the adults, well, they were picking up on all the sexual innuendos. So with everybody watching the show, Adam West became a star and a sex symbol. His father loved it and was congratulating him. They were all excited. They threw a big party. When he visited his mother, it was the opposite. He said that she was so jealous that she wouldn't even congratulate him or acknowledge any of his success at all. He says in life, when you care for someone, you're rooting for them. You cheer their successes. And when you have them and they don't cheer back for you, well, you know who your true friends and family are. And sometimes it hurts really bad when you find out the truth.
Amazing. I rest my case. No free will, folks. And if you notice, Adam West's mother went from beauty to beast. Beauty to beast. You look like old hat at the end. That's what anger will do to you. And he repeated his mother's life. If you never get angry, you would never have to live a life like that. Period. You will always live a free life. And Adam West could not help himself. The evil spirit was passed on to him by becoming angry from his mother. And Adam West couldn't help himself. Facts verses reporting that Adam West lived a secret life filled with women and booze, thinking that that was the answer, and it's not. When will you stop loving your misery? Oh, I know most people are not going to stop loving it. When will you stop trying to inflict your misery upon other human beings? Oh, I know you're not, because you call that life. You get energy from it. You get a thrill. You get a thrill from feeling good, and you get a thrill from feeling bad, feeling angry, feeling bad. They're both evil. They're imposters. In perfect love, there are no thrills. It's just perfect peace. All without the thrill of it. Amazing life, huh? If you don't learn from that you don't have a free will, then may God have mercy on your soul. If ever you needed the Lord, you need him now. It's amazing you could be free, but you're in hell in your own world and you think it's somebody else. And because you think it is deceiving you. All thoughts are all lies all the time. Tate is out of Georgia. Georgia, on my mind. Tate, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Have you ever ended a relationship, Jesse?
Have I ever ended one?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
How long were you with this woman?
I don't remember, but more than 1 or 2 or 3 years, definitely more than that. And so it was a while. It was long enough to cause pain.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Do you think it's harder for men to end relationships than our counterparts?
Is it harder for the man to end a relationship than the woman?
Yeah.
It all depends. In some cases, yes. In some cases, no.
But no generalities with that.
The only reason that it's difficult for a man, period, is that he thinks it's love and not realizing that because he's resent his mother, he has made the woman his God. And so when he loses his God, it feels like the loss of life. But it's really the ego dying, but he thinks it's life and he take it pretty serious because it feels like he is dying.
I think that part of it, I'm like considering doing this,
Doing what?
Ending my relationship.
How your wife or girlfriend?
Girlfriend, but we've been together for a few years.
Are y'all living together?
Yes.
And why are you thinking of ending it?
A lot of turmoil.
A lot of turmoil? Yeah. Do you have kids?
No.
Oh. Can you give me an example of turmoil?
Usually I think, we have kind of a like anxious attachment, avoidant, conflicts usually, whereas she will bring up some issues, that I'm doing, and then I'll try to respond, but maybe not do it to the level that's necessary. And so she's feeling not heard, and then I'm feeling frustrated and feeling nagged and things of that nature. And it's been going on like this for some time now. We just keep getting into these cycles of fight.
How long you been with her, you say?
More than 5 years.
And how have you avoided not having kids with her?
What do you mean? I mean, it's like with contraception and things of that nature.
Oh, I see. And so what have kept you there then, knowing that this is the wrong relationship to be in? Why have you stayed this long?
Well, there are periods of it's very good.
Can you hold for me? Let me take a quick break and I'll come back to you.
Yeah, of course.
All right, hold on. 888-7753-773. When I come back, your phone calls and super chat. Short break. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry. because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have the sex. You don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you gotta stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature. All right, folks, welcome back. 888-775-3773. If you like counseling, we have the best counseling service on this side of heaven. You might not only need but one. You might only need but one, maybe two. But a lot of people like to, come back for more because they like to kind of update. That's fine, too. And so if you want counseling, family, individual, whatever it might be, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663. By phone, Skype, or walk-in. Phone, Skype, or walk-in. All right? And check out our merch. Amazing merch at rebuildingtheman.com/store. What the amazing beta. Jesse Lee Peterson President hoodie with the Great White Hope on it. The Great White Hope on the hoodie. Tote bags. The Great White Hope hoodie. T-shirts and more. Tote bags and everything. Go to rebuildingtheman.com. Amazing stuff there. Also, personalized shout-outs, weddings, personal shout-out for weddings, congratulations, encouragement, cussing somebody out, whatever the shout-out is. Go to Cameo, CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. So I want to go back to Tate out of Georgia, and he's trying to break up with this woman he's been with for a while. Tate, I asked, why have you stayed this long? Thank you for holding. Why have you stayed so long? And you say?
I think that we've had periods of good times, but just recently it's been like we've been on a downward slope, and I have hope that we can kind of get back to where we were. We're in counseling and, things of that nature, just like trying to work on it, and so.
And why are you hoping that?
I don't think that, this is kind of why I'm reaching out for some advice. It's like, I was of the mind that, most relationships, require work, require maintenance, things of that nature, and so I'm just trying to do my due diligence for us, so I feel, guilty, just like, not giving it a real shot,
And where'd you get the idea that a relationship requires work?
I think I read it somewhere.
I read it somewhere. She got time to be as a place for it. That's one of the
The counselor
biggest.
told me to.
Who?
The counselor
A
told that.
a male or female?
A woman, yeah, female.
Every time the man listens to the woman, he will suffer. Why you listen to a woman?
I mean, she got good reviews and credential. I don't know.
Oh God! Every time the man listens to the woman, a credential is just a piece of paper with no meaning.
Fair enough. Well, that's why. I mean, I just put it out there.
One of the biggest lies amongst men that's ever been told to human beings that you can make a relationship work. You cannot do that. Either it happened naturally or it ain't going to happen at all. You can't make it happen.
Yeah.
That's the biggest lie that ever been told. And you're not supposed to try to make another human being be any kind of a way. You can't even make yourself be the right way. And so you can't make a relationship work. That woman lied to you. And as a result of listening to her, you're suffering even more so.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
And there's no such, you said that, and I asked, well, why have you stayed? You said, because there have been some times of good moments, some good times, right?
Yeah.
The good times are the evil times.
Why do you say that?
Because good times are all ego fake. So you feel good, and then as soon as some type of disagreement come, or you don't do what she want you to do, or she doesn't do what you want her to do, then you back down to the bad times. They are both imposters. You don't want good times or bad times. You just want perfect peace.
I tell her that. I was like, I want peace. So she's like, I want that too, but there's like things that we need to do to make that happen.
Like what?
Well, kind of like that's what I was getting, before is like certain things that she's asked me to do, and kind of centers around like communication and just tasks around our place and things of that nature. And I tried. I've tried, and sometimes these things just didn't. To her credit, like sometimes these things just did not get done, but I've also had a lot of things going on in my life recently. So
she said, in order for this to work, you need to do these things, and then it'll work. You need to do what I want you to do?
Pretty much, yeah.
And you believe that?
I don't know.
If you didn't believe it, why did you try it?
Just for the sake of, like, just trying to do my part, like, doing, what's good for us, because she's giving, I think a lot of it too is also that she's given me, we've given each other, but like, like we've been together for, a good amount of time. I'm like, hey, look, whatever I got to do to try to make this work, I will, just because I do want to have like a, good, long-lasting relationship, but I don't know. It's becoming just harder and harder each passing week, month, year, and I'm kind of thinking that this may not be it. We may just not be compatible.
Hey, that's all you're gonna ever get is hell. You're trying to make something be that you can't make happen. You cannot make a relationship work, no matter what you do. And the more you do what she tell you to do, the deeper you're getting into hell. You better be glad that you don't have any children with her, because she would use those children against you, and she would make you feel awful about taking your children away from you and everything. I would recommend do what you want, of course, as quickly as possible. Get away from this and work on yourself. No, don't look for another anything to replace your misery, but you want to overcome it. Only seek what's right. Only seek the truth, and the truth will add to your life whatever's meant to be. But the way you're going, as you already see, time has gone by, and the only thing that has happened, you got deeper into hell. That's all this is going to ever be.
What would you recommend I tell her?
I'm out of here. Bye. I'm sorry that I got with you. I realize now it was a big mistake. I need to work on myself. I wish you well, and I'm out of. Did she move in with you, or you move in with her?
She's with me.
And so tell her she got to go, and send her back home to mama, or wherever she want to go. And you don't resent her for the way she's been, and don't resent yourself, and start working on you, and start living from within, and everything will work out just perfectly for you.
Yeah.
But you got to work on you now.
How do I overcome the guilt of doing this action? Like the initial guilt, I think that's what's been holding me back a good bit as I see this huge hill, and I'm thinking that, one, it's almost like sunken costs, and then two, it's like, man, it's almost like I owe her more than just that. I don't know.
You owe her nothing. And the guilt you feel, it's anytime you worship guilt, you're worshiping the devil. You're worshiping evil. You're calling evil you, and it's not you. Guilt is evil. It's not from God, and it's not from you. It's from the deceiver, which is of your imagination and emotion. She's a grown woman. You're a grown man. Both of you are responsible for your own world. You're not to blame for her, and she's not to blame for you.
Yeah.
And so guilt is false, and it'll keep you in the cage of your prison if you fall for the guilt.
Okay.
So I would let it go because you're worshiping the devil. She's a grown woman. She knew what she was getting into, too. Or didn't know what she was getting into, just as you didn't know. But you're not responsible for her.
Yeah. That's fair.
And so I would just say, hey, it's been nice knowing you. This thing is not going to work. We can't make it work. It's not meant to be. I wish you well. Goodbye.
Okay.
And do not let her trick you into making a baby. It'll be hard for you to let the devil go if the devil has your child.
Yeah.
So don't be careful, because she'll say she on birth control, and she won't be, and now you got a baby.
Got it.
And then the devil gonna say, "Oh, you can't leave her. That's your child. You have a baby now, and now you're stuck in more hell, even more so."
I really appreciate you having this, this hour or this couple hours for folks to call in and get advice. Thank you again. I'll call back in with an update if, as things go.
But you're welcome. I wouldn't be deceived by my imagination. You see now that this is not working. All these years and time has gone by. You've done what she asked you to do. You've done what the female counselor asked you to do. You've done what your own mind asked, and it's not working. It's not meant to be. It can't work. If it's not happening naturally, it's not meant to be.
Yeah.
And
so the goal, after I work on myself, is to find someone or have someone come to me that this kind of naturally complements what I've got going on.
Don't even have that in your mind. You only want a clear mind, and you only want the love of truth to guide you, and which is the nature of God. And whatever it's meant to be, don't have that in your mind at all. You're supposed to only want truth over nothing else. Because whatever you want is what you're going to get, and it's going to be hell.
I see.
Have you gone and forgiven your mother?
have actually. That was something that I went and talked with her, and just like, hey, we haven't talked about any of this before, but and the conversation went fine. She's like, thank you, and
you told her you forgive her for screwing up your life?
I didn't go that far. That I don't feel. Well, granted, I mean, maybe there is some insight I don't have. But I don't feel like she screwed up anything in my life. But there are certain things that's like, that during my upbringing, I was like, hey, look, I didn't like this, didn't like that. I do forgive you for that.
You said what?
There are certain things that happened during my upbringing, and I was like, I didn't like this, I didn't like that, and I forgave her for that.
And how do you think you ended up with a woman that just like your mama?
I don't have that level of insight right now.
Okay. Yeah, you need to work on you, buddy. Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
I do meditate. Is that similar?
Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
I don't know.
You don't know if you're doing it or not?
I don't know if that's similar to meditation.
You don't want to meditate. You want to observate. You don't want to have control of any thoughts or anything. You just want to sit at the gate and watch. That's all you want to do so that you can overcome all of the imagination. You're not your thoughts. You're not your feeling. You're not the body. And you want to overcome that. And so you don't want to focus on anything, but you want to observe. Just watch the thought. Go to, keep doing a little meditation, and go to rebuildingtheman.com/prayer, I think. Rebuild it, is that right there? Huh?
I said Lord.
Is that the wrong one or the right one?
It's the old one. They both
work? They all work?
Yeah.
Okay, silentprayer.video, silentprayer.video, or rebuildingtheman.com/prayer, and start doing it. And from this point forward, man, just work on you and let all ideas go. You want to die from ideas and plans like that. Like, oh, I want another wife. I want this. I want that. No, you don't. You want whatever God's will is for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So see if the silent prayer is the same as the meditation thing you're doing, and you'll see the right way to go.
Okay.
So I will do what you want, of course, right? But I will let her know today is this over, and this is not going to ever work. It was a big mistake, and I wish you well. You got to go. And she's going to try to make you feel guilty. She's going to try to make you feel angry. She's going to say, oh, let's go to the dumb psychiatrist or psychologist again. Don't go. Work on yourself and you'll be fine. And you have nothing to be guilty about, so don't feel guilt. It's not of you.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you again.
Let me know how it goes.
I'll call back.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
All right. 888-7753-773. That's the line open. Amazing, huh? We can't make anything work, folks. When will you catch on? Why do you keep boomeranging in your life? Repeat the same thing over and over. You know how those little rats be in a little wheel and just spinning? That's all you're doing. Let me go to Brandy out of Hawaii. Brandy, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Morning, Jesse.
Hey, Brandy.
Wow, I got on a lot faster than I was expecting this time.
You want to hold some more?
No.
Oh.
If you want me to, and then me too.
What's that noise in the background?
I had my headphones on because I wasn't expecting to get on, so I had to rip them out.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Hey, I'm calling about the Islam thing. I've been trying to call you all week, but I get on at 5 o'clock hour, and I don't have time. I don't get on in time.
And then when you do get on time, you complain about that. Oh.
I know. I'm sorry. I wasn't ready. So I was calling because, I talked to you, remember, I don't know if it was last week.
You say you've been calling all week into the day, Monday?
No, I mean last week.
Oh.
I called Friday, and I called,
you.
I think, Thursday and Tuesday, and seriously, 4 days.
All right, go ahead.
Go
ahead. Yeah, thank you.
No worries. I was calling, how I called the other week about Islam, or about Islam. That's what I'm calling about. I wanted to talk about the Muslim Brotherhood in 1980s. I watched a video a while back of the leader of the Muslim Brotherhood came forward and talked about how he wanted to take over the United States. They had like 100-year goal to take it over. And I wanted to bring up Sharia law too. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Sharia law, just because the whole Israel fight that's going on.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
And I just thought I would bring up some reminders because I think that something really bad might be happening in America soon. Did you guys watch? I was just watching.
What do you think is going to happen in America?
I think that we're going to see terrorist attacks, like 9/11, if not worse.
Yeah, that is definitely possible because according to the news, they have caught several of the terrorist people on a watch list they have, and they still leave the borders open, and there are so many people that they have not caught that cross illegally. So it's definitely possible in this country now and as long as the borders is open like that, it becomes even more possible that will happen.
Yeah, I think it's going to... Oh, my goodness, Jesse, I think it's about to get really bad because they're already calling for jihad. And did you... I was watching last night of all the Palestinian people in America are uprising. It was showing an uprising. There was a parade, pretty much, through the streets of San Diego. And it was showing it in Chicago, New York, Washington, I think it was Georgia, Texas.
I'm surprised to see that kind of stuff happening in my country. I remember when we first started out, we would show that stuff. It would be happening in other countries. And I never imagined that we would see that on our own land, own soil.
Yeah, what's really even more mind-boggling about that is that a lot of us watched 9/11 happen, and it was pretty traumatic. I mean, not the younger folks from 2001 and under, but you think that us adults that watch that would not want that to come back here? So it's so crazy that they voted this in to have open borders when it's a known fact that Islam wants to kill us. And their beliefs, I don't know if you heard of Wally Shabatz, but he used to be a part of that.
I think I interviewed him, right? Many times. I've interviewed him several times.
Really? Oh my gosh, I gotta look at that video because I've watched so many of his videos where
and
he's
his son.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, can you hold
get him back on? Sure.
All right, hold on. 888-7753-773. One more hour to go. The hate news, not the fake news. Back in a moment. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality.
whole lot of mess going on in the world, am I right? This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. Hang tight, callers. JLP will be right back to you. It is Monday. Everybody loves Mondays. October 23rd, AD 2023. Stay tuned. But first, Hake news, not fake news. Or is it fake news? After the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, the Hake Report. And then after the Hake Report at noon Pacific time today, American Anchor Baby. He promised to make up for to us. I think he did not have a show on Friday. With the Hake. The Hake. American Anchor Baby on YouTube and Rumble. Very excellent show. Check it out. And by the way, church yesterday was awesome. Rebuildingtheman.com/church. That's where you can find info on the silent prayer as well. Silentprayer.video. Synagogue woman leader stabbed to death, I heard. Coming Nonsense Network CNN reports police searching for a motive in the death of a Detroit synagogue leader found fatally stabbed in her home or outside her home. I heard both things. I guess inside her home. A thing I've heard twice. The body of Samantha Woll, W-O-L-L, president of the board of the Isaac Agree downtown synagogue, was discovered with multiple stabbed wounds Saturday morning. Investigators continue to probe for a motive. Police Chief James E. White said Sunday no evidence has surfaced suggesting the killing was motivated by so-called anti-Semitism with no hyphen, kiss-ups. Friends and families gathered Sunday during a packed funeral service to honor her legacy. Police they haven't even identified a suspect in the case, but it's still unclear what led to the killing. What a mess. Police shooting. Authorities in Tennessee searching for the estranged son of Nashville's police chief as a suspect in the Saturday shooting of 2 suburban police officers. Suspect John Drake Jr., now wanted on 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder. Attempted. And is considered armed and very dangerous. Maybe they've caught him by now. I don't know. This could be old news. Metro Nashville Police Chief John Drake said he was shocked and deeply saddened to learn that the suspect is his son. Despite my efforts and guidance in the early and teenage years, my son, John Drake Jr., now 38 years old, resorted to years of criminal activity and is a convicted felon, the chief said. The officers have both been with the force for less than 3 years, expected to recover from their injuries. Pull through, Kings. Student loan, the brainwashed leeches, human beings, though. No dehumanizing language on too viciously, right? Not too vicious. Although the so-called Supreme Court struck down President Joe Biden's hallmark student loan forgiveness program in June. Satan forgiveness, right? Not godly forgiveness. His administration found ways to cancel more than $48 billion with a B, billion dollars in debt since then. The cancellations have come through existing federal student loan forgiveness programs limited to specific categories of borrowers, such as public sector workers, meaning government employees. Leeches on leeches, right? Doubly leeches, but they're still human. People defrauded by for-profit colleges, allegedly, according to them. Borrowers who paid for at least 20 years. Sleepy Joe Biden, Obama Part 3 administration has been granting that debt forgiveness on a rolling basis, discharged a total of $127 billion for nearly 3.6 million people to date. Biden's Republican critics say at least some of his debt relief actions are illegal and an attempt to circumvent the so-called Supreme Court's ruling. An old World Cup legend died. Rest in peace, Bobby Charlton, or Carlton, Charlton, Manchester United great, who played a starring role in England's 1966 World Cup victory. He's died. Premier Club said on Saturday, the tender age of 86, gone too soon. Charlton is widely considered one of the greatest soccer players of all time. So we wish you well. What a mess. Argentina elections, 25 million Argentines. Argentinians cast their ballots in the presidential election, 75% turnout amid a severe economic crisis. We'll see what happens. I don't have high hopes, but we wish you well. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show today. There is 2 lines open if you want to jump in at 888-775-3773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse. Jesse, my brand new biblical question for this week. Brand new. To whom of what are you loyal? Are you loyal? And why? Why? Amazing question. We have every way that you can watch and get involved with the show and support the show by listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show, jesseleepeterson.com/show. And if you are not able to sit and just watch the show right now, anywhere in the whole wide world, if you're a flat earther, up and down the world, if you're a round earther, around the world, by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500, 641-793-1500. I'm typing a note here. I'm about to freeze up here. Let's see here. Okay. And don't forget to follow us, JLP Talk on Twitter, better known as X now, and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk or rebuildingtheman.com or Cash Bond JLP Cash App. Buy JLP on Cash App. All right? Amazing. Amazing. I want to go quickly back to Brandy, and Brandy's talking about the Muslim Brotherhood and the possibility of an attack in our country now. It has been reported that several people have been captured on trying to come across the border because everybody and their mama coming in now freely and our borders are wide open. It's interesting in that our country is trying to help everybody and their mama, right? In all the other countries, and they're doing nothing, zero for America. They're not drilling oil. They're not doing anything about the economy. They're not shutting down the borders. They're not bringing back police. They're not reinstating, when you go to jail, you have to pay bail bond. They're doing nothing. I believe, it's just me believing this, that it is an attack on white people. And as this black woman was saying in the media the other day, anything white that these kids have been brainwashed to believe must go, whether it's white Jews or white people. And that's why they have been taught and brainwashed to get rid of the whites, and they use words like occupiers. Like they care that these folks living on the land. They ain't gonna own it no how. What the? But they've been brainwashed to believe. I want to quickly back to Brandy. Brandon, you said, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You said you were traumatized when the 9/11 thing happened?
Well, I mean, I wasn't traumatized. I was California, and that's New York, so...
So you were not traumatized?
No.
So it wasn't traumatic. It wasn't traumatic to you?
I wouldn't call it traumatic. I mean, it's pretty shocking. I mean, I think if I was in the situation, it'd probably be more traumatic. But you think that just people that have watched it and know that they will attack us would be more against them coming here and open borders?
Are you afraid that something will happen?
I've been asking myself that all week, but I don't know if I'm afraid. I'm definitely not. I don't know if I'm afraid for myself because I'm just like on an island. I don't think it's going to come here.
Oh, you don't think it can happen in Hawaii?
I think it could, but just because I'm on an island that isn't very popular. I mean, I'm not on Oahu. I think if they were going to attack one, it would be Oahu.
So
that's
the
like
Muslims,
where the military base is.
The Muslims don't have sense enough to find your island?
No, they do. I mean, I'm just thinking of myself, like business-wise. If I was going to take out a lot of people, I would go to popular areas.
Oh, I see.
And I'm on an island that's not very popular. It'd be like a waste of time.
Oh, okay.
Take out very many people. So
Amazing.
I don't feel afraid for myself.
And who are you afraid for?
I do see. I mean, they're going into homes over there and chopping heads off. I can see it happening here, and people here would be very shocked because they're in a bubble. They don't even see it coming.
I remember that back at the time when they had the 9/11 thing, there was some killing down in San Bernardino, California. And San Bernardino is not a popular place or anything. It's like the hood. And they did some shooting down there as well. Remember that?
Yeah, you remember I told you last time I talked to you that woman and man jumped out of the car in San Bernardino on the 10 freeway and started shooting everybody in rush hour traffic.
Amazing.
You remember that? And
Never
then
asked a black man if he remembers.
I know. It's just because it was a week ago. You remember in Paris, November of 2015, when they took all those refugees into Paris, and then like a month later is when they shot up that concert?
Never asked a black man if he remembers.
I'm bringing back memory. That same night, they walked down to a coffee shop and started shooting everybody outside the coffee shop, and then pulled a woman down into an alley and started raping her. And that was going around like a month after they took in all those refugees. Those refugees are in America.
Been several attacks in Paris lately over the years, for sure.
Yeah.
But you know,
and it's
the
everywhere.
American people get what they deserve because they voted in this type of a government. And so the people voted in this kind of government, this is what they're going to get. And the most interesting thing about this is that they're voting in the same government. In spite of everything that's happening, the fact nothing is being done in our country, but our country giving money and weapons and everything to all the other countries, and they're doing nothing for our country. And according to reports, if anything happened here, our military has been weakened. We don't have enough equipment left, ammunition or whatever. And so they don't care about us at all. They just want power wealth from themselves, no matter where they can get it from. And yet the people will vote in the same government.
Mm-hmm.
So the people get what they deserve.
I agree with you, Jesse.
Yeah.
It just sucks for the people that are like you and me that didn't vote for this. You know?
Yeah.
We're like stuck in the middle of it. And it's going to come to where we're going to end up having to fight for ourselves, our own freedom. You know, if this keeps happening and we don't wake up fast enough, we're going to be under Sharia law. We're going to have no choice but to get up and fight for our own country, like back in the day when we actually had to fight on our own land. These people are kids nowadays, and even the older generation, they've never had to fight on our own soil. They don't know what it's like to see this.
This is why the people must get involved now and fight in the right way, not the wrong way, because if you come out fighting in the wrong way, all of your rights will be gone, and you will be imprisoned by your own country for the rest of your life, because they want you angry. They want you fighting in the wrong way, especially if you're white. They want you fighting. They're going to lock you up. Brandy, thank you for your call. I got to run.
Okay, thank you, Jess.
Appreciate it.
Jesse.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye now. 888-775-3773. Let me go to a first-time caller, Neuron. Neuron, I believe, out of California. Is it Neuron?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Yeah. So I kind of wanted your 2 cents on this. So I've been in life right now. I've been listening to your show for a good while now, and I really appreciate your advice. And right now I'm trying to decide on moving, but I don't know if I should move. I don't know right now if it's the thoughts telling me that I should move or not, but I've been wondering because I've been having car troubles, and I even had to go to the emergency room for a situation. And those situations made me realize, like, I'm out here on my own in life, and I don't really have much friends and family to be around to, like, help me if anything did happen. So I was just worried, and I don't know if it's coming from fear or if it's logical to be around family if things happen. Because where I live now, I live alone. But if I move, and I'm deciding I kind of want to move to Florida, if I move there, I'll be around closer to a family that actually cares about me compared to my other family. So I just don't know which is, like, the best decision. And, you know, California is getting kind of weird with, you know, the laws and the inflation and stuff like that. So I'm not sure what to do right now. So I'm just kind of stuck.
And so you're considering the possibility of moving because you're in fear or because you're having situations?
I'm considering the situation because I'm worried that maybe, let's say I get in a car accident or something happens to me, I don't really have anyone that can help me.
Have you been in a car accident?
No, I have not.
And why do you think you're going to get in a car accident?
I don't think I will. I'm just talking about if something happens.
But why are you living a life of if?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. That I don't know.
And that's what have you freaking out, because you living a life of if, and if has not and is not happening, and the if is making you make a move before time. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't move or should move, but you should not do it out of fear.
Okay.
Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
I'm struggling with it. I'm trying to do it, but I am struggling with it.
Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
No.
And so what do you mean you struggle with it then? I'm trying to do it. I'm struggling.
There's times that I feel like the devil will overcome me. There's times that, you know, I would want to do it, but I'll get distracted or I'll just forget it, you know.
And why don't you just sit there and watch so the devil can be defeated?
There's times that I do, but then there's other times I just forget. I don't know how, but I just forget it, you know?
Oh, I see. So it's not important enough to you yet?
I don't know what is even important to me in my life right now.
Your fears. What's important to you is your hell. That's why you give that more time than anything else.
So how do I do it? How do I give, instead of my hell, how do I give the opposite more time?
By getting up and doing the silent prayer every morning, every night. Practice during the day when your mind is tripping on ifs and living in the past or future. Come back to your body, forgive, and then you will see the right thing to do. It's neither right nor wrong to move to near your family unless you're doing it out of fear.
Okay.
Because you moved to Florida out of fear, or wherever your family members are, and you'll hate them, and they'll hate you.
You're right.
And you'll be wondering, why now did I move here?
A part of me has that fear of what you just said. I'm afraid of doing that. I'm afraid of moving over there, and then that will happen. You know what I mean? I feel that, like, deep and down, too, so I'm just like I'm fine where I'm at, and I'm good where I'm at, but I'm just, in my mind sometimes, I just feel like, well, I don't got any friends. I don't got any family. I don't got anything going on.
Ain't nobody got no friends.
Right.
There's no such thing as friends. It doesn't exist.
It's so hard to go around the world with that because everyone else thinks that's real. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I understand what you're saying, but people don't. So they look at you, and they're weird with you about that, you know?
They don't. Other people don't need to understand it. This is you are your world, and you just need to understand it, and let the rest of the world go to hell. They're already in hell. Let them stay in their hell.
That's true. Okay.
You need to stop thinking about the rest of the world and live in your world.
Yeah. Doesn't that, I don't know, I've heard that before, but when I was younger hearing that, it sounds a bit delusional to live in your own world. You know what I'm saying?
Why is that? It's delusional to live in somebody else's world.
But don't we share the world?
No. You don't share your world with anyone but God.
Okay.
What does that mean, share the world? We are the world. We are the people. We are the world to make a better place. Let's start giving. Ain't nothing got better when they sing that song.
That's true.
Everything got worse. And yet they are the world.
Right.
You need to calm down, man.
Right.
You tripping.
Yeah, I am.
You living in your imagination, and it's causing you to make the wrong decisions, getting deeper in hell.
Okay, so I have I have a question though.
So calm down.
Yeah.
Do the silent prayer, watch, and you will see what to do. It'll be clear, and it will not be out of fear.
Okay.
You're about to ask another question. Go ahead.
Yeah, so let's say I don't have an alcohol problem or anything like that, but let's say I did, and I will always drink, right? I remember you saying in your, on your show and stuff, that if you're the drink itself isn't the problem, it's the thought, right? Like if you're always drinking and you can't stop drinking, it's not the drink itself, it's your thoughts that's doing it?
Are you drinking or something?
No, I'm not, but I'm just curious.
Why is that a question there?
I don't know, I'm curious, I guess.
But yeah, you're right. It's not the drinking that's the issue. It's the thoughts about the drinking. It's the emotion. It's the anger. The root of the problem is anger, and nothing is going to solve the anger nothing going to change that until you overcome anger by returning to the Father.
Right. Yeah.
Have you forgiven your mother?
Yeah, I have, face to face.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
You went and forgave your mother? How did that go?
Yeah. It didn't go well at all.
What happened?
Well, she got upset. She gave me like a really angry face. And then I kind of walked off crying because she didn't say anything to me. She was just like, whatever. And then sometime after, I tried it again with her, and she just said, okay. So anytime we try to talk, it's just not good. You know, our relationship isn't good. She doesn't want to. She still seems to be upset with me. So I just leave her alone.
And you say you walked away crying?
The first time. Yeah.
I cried over you. What a fool I've been. Well, leave her alone. Your mother is evil. She has nothing to give you but evil. Stay away from her.
Right.
And just wish her well. You don't need her to admit that she was wrong or admit what she's done or admit to anything. You forgive her, just like you're freaking out about, well, my mood, I might have an accident. I might this. That spirit came from her, and it's evil. And just as you cannot help yourself right now, she could not help herself. And so when you realize that, you forgive her. You don't need her to admit it. God will forgive you, and he'll bring the light inside of you, and you'll start seeing that you're not your thoughts, you're not your emotions, and you start to overcome that, and you'll become free.
Right.
You got to work completely over you and give your mama the finger.
Right. So being alone all the time, maybe most of your time in your life, that counts? That's fine too? Just being alone all the time?
Yeah, because when you're with the crowd, you're alone anyway.
Okay.
And people look for crowds to be with because they are alone and they want to feel the sense of being with someone so they can feel the sense of not being alone, but they're still alone.
Right.
Because the people that they're with don't like them and they don't like the people that everybody using everyone.
Right.
You need to calm down and do the silent prayer anyway. Watch those thoughts. Take it one day at a time, one moment at a time. Stay away from the past or the future in your imagination. And you'll see you'll be fine, but you need to calm down.
Okay.
And you don't need your mama's love. Women don't have love. Mama don't have love. Mama only have hate.
Yeah, I'm not looking for her love anymore.
Yeah, she doesn't have it. And don't resent her. Don't be mad at her. Let her live her hell, and you go and become of heaven.
Okay. I have one more question before I let you go. You said every thought is a lie.
Yes.
What practical thoughts? I know they come from your mind too. Let's say you need to pick up the hammer to hit the screw, or to fix this table you're fixing.
Right.
I know that thought comes in your mind, but I've been always wondering: is that also a lie technically because it's not the truth? It's just a thought.
That's just a thought about a tool you need to use to build a house with. Just like when you're hungry, it's just a thought you need to eat. And you go eat. You don't need that thought anymore. And the next time you go back and pick up the hammer, you go back. But you don't live by that. But I'm talking about all these things that have you tripping about, I got to do this, this might happen, and that might happen, and my mama this, my mama that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Those thoughts are all lies. They're evil. They tell you that you're good or bad. They tell you about the future or the past. They tell you that you are a guilty sinner. All those thoughts are lies. You're none of those things.
Okay.
And they tell you that you're alone, so you must be lonely. Those are lies too.
Right. And I'm seeing that stuff in my life now, and I'm getting better with dealing with that. It's just there's times where I just feel like I got to be around people.
Only because you drifted into the imagination.
Okay. Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate that.
Do the silent prayer, man.
Okay. I will.
All right, buddy. Let me know how it goes.
Right. No problem. I'll call again.
All right. Bye. 888-7753-773. Stay out of the imagination, folks. The ones that make you feel good are evil. The ones that make you feel bad are evil. The ones that make you think all is well are evil. The one that makes you think all is bad are evil. The ones that tell you, I need somebody. I need to be married, or I need a friend, or I need this or that are lies. Do the silent prayer so you can see what's going on. Vincent is a first-time caller out of Idaho, not Navajo, but Idaho. Vincent, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, how are you?
All is well. How are you?
I'm good. I have...
No man is good. Only God is good.
Only God is good. You're right.
Go ahead.
I'm originally from California. I relocated to Idaho to just get away from a toxic, terrible relationship. I had a abusive ex-girlfriend that was terrorizing my life. So I left her and I went to Idaho. And I've had a lot of issues with my mother, too. My mother was, still is, abusing hard drugs. And I've always tried to help her. And she was really the closest thing to me. And I recently had to really just give up on that. I tried to change her life and get her to move over here, and she went back to the streets and doing drugs. I recently, about a year ago, got a driving under the influence charge here in Idaho, and I felt things were just going bad for me. I'm feel like I drink to bury the pain I have. And just recently I got into a bad fight with somebody, and I don't remember anything at all from getting so drunk that I blacked out and got into a fight. And this has happened at least 3 times now.
Sound like you having a hell of a life.
Oh, yeah, I have. That's for sure.
And your question for me is what?
My question for you is, I have some counselors that I go to, court-ordered that I go to, and I just feel that they are not the right people to tell me the right things because of them not being believers in God and not being close to the Father. And I want to return to the Father, and I'm just trying to navigate my way to doing this. And I know you're going to tell me to do the silent prayer, and I believe I do that, but I need to do it more, obviously.
So
and
you're not doing it every morning, every night?
Not enough, no.
Are you doing it every morning, every night?
No, not every morning and not every night.
So why you believe you're doing it?
I believe some times in the day I do it, but also I need to listen to your silent prayer to figure out if I'm doing it correctly.
And what else were you about to say about the counselors?
Well, the counselors are trying to tell me to stop playing victim, and they have also tried to ask me to forgive my mother and get rid of the resentments I have. And they seem to have the right idea, but they also seem to be into paganism. So that's what I feel is misconstrued with taking any advice from people like this.
What is paganism?
They believe in multiple gods, and they're it's like witchery.
Okay.
It's like a very old pagan ritualistic type of religion.
How do you know they believe that?
Because they told me they do.
Oh, yeah? How old are you?
I'm 30 years old.
And your question for me is what?
My question is, when I do the silent prayer, you're saying that I'm going to be at peace, so there's no more wants and nothing I need, and there's also no bad feelings. I feel like I have something bad inside me that comes out when I get drunk, like I have this anger. And if I forgive my mother, like you're telling me to do, what if I do that and tell her that I forgive her for ruining my life? What if it doesn't set in stone with me that I do forgive her? Because I feel it's so hard for me to let go of that.
And why you're doing a what if rather than not doing it and see what happens?
Yeah.
No, that was a question.
What was the question you're asking me?
Why are you doing a what if rather than forgiving and see what happens?
Because I believe I've tried it before, but I just didn't do it. I didn't do it with enough emphasis.
Why not?
Because I care for my mother's feelings, and on top of that, I know that I shouldn't.
Hold on. Can you hold, Vincent? Hold on for me.
Yeah.
Let me take a quick break. The treasure chest is now open on D-Live. Quick break. Back in a moment. I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true. It's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father. Okay, welcome back. 888-7753-773. There's one line. I'm going to try to get to everybody. Other mama. And your super chat. I opened the church just right, Hassan? Oh, okay. And the Hake report is coming up at the top of this hour. The Hake, Hake report.com at 9 a.m. Pacific time from 9 to 11. And then at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby at 12 noon Pacific time. All right. I want to go back to Vincent and trying to overcome all this anger mess. Vincent,
yeah.
I forgot where we left off. Let me ask, is your mother in Idaho now, or in somewhere else?
She's in California.
Okay. Leave your mama in California. You can't save your mama. You can't even save yourself.
Yeah. And she wants me to, I can tell she does want me to still try to save her, even though I've tried so many times.
But what makes you think you could save her?
I don't think it's the saving. I think it's she wants me to be near her because she keeps putting it on me that she may die because she has had a blood disease for 20 years. But she continues to still do drugs.
But right, so being near her and she's still doing the drug. How is being near her going to help you or her?
Because if she dies, I may not know.
And
I feel like I am going to be torn up inside when that happens.
Why?
Just because I don't want her to die alone.
Why not? She came in this world alone. Why can't she die alone? What? How is that going to help her or you that you're feeling that way?
I know. It doesn't help me.
So why are you into that feeling then? Why are you into that type of a feeling?
Because I want to be old-fashioned, I guess, and I want to be able to be there for my mother on her dying deathbed, but she's always been in and out of the hospital a lot, and she has always kind of used her illness as a scapegoat.
And to control you.
Yes, and I know that.
If you go around, do what you want, of course. You need to get over all these fake feelings about old time, how the people who were around their parents when they died in the old days, they were around there out of guilt, not because they wanted to. Their mother had put guilt on them, and they felt like they had to be around, and and it was never volunteer. And so
That's exactly how I feel.
Right. And so,
but for me, it's a cross of both because I do volunteer. I have volunteered to be there, and I have volunteered to help. And I've even been told by the counseling that I go to right now that that was a choice, and I made that choice.
That wasn't your choice, and you did not make that choice. Your resentment for your mother made that choice. You listened to the devil because your mother will destroy you if you continue to bring her around. Just as she destroyed herself, she will destroy you. And that's why she has set you up with all these fake emotions and love so that you could be available, that she might destroy you.
And I think that's the same, that is exactly why I tried so hard to be with a crazy woman that was abusive and terrorizing.
You're attracted to what you hate. You hate your mama, and so that spirit, you're going to be attracted to that spirit until you overcome your mother. You can't help it.
Yeah. So I kind of don't talk to her very often anymore, and I feel if I give her that call and say that I forgive her for what she has done to me and what she did, after that, do I just not talk to her anymore?
I wouldn't worry about what to do afterward. I would do what I need to do now and let afterward take care of itself. You need to work on you. You got to forgive your mother. I'm sorry, mother, for resenting you. You screwed up my life. I see now you can't help it because you screwed up your own life. I'm sorry for resenting you. And that doesn't mean come on back to Idaho or I'm coming back to California. Do not do those things. She's going to end up destroying you.
I don't plan to do that. I plan to go somewhere else that makes me feel more at home because I don't feel at home out here either.
Well, because what you're looking for is not somewhere else. It's inside of you. You can move to another city. You can move to another state. And you're still not going to feel at home because home is inside of you. You got to work on what's happening in your mind and emotions. The kingdom of heaven is in you. And you got to forget all those other things and just work on you so you can be free within. And wherever you live, you'll be at peace.
Yeah, a friend of mine had told me that. It doesn't matter where I go. It's inside.
Yeah. What you're looking for is already with you. And so, are you done with the ex-girlfriend?
Recently, yes, I'm completely done with it. A friend of mine that watches you a lot and told me to call in right now today, and that's why I'm doing that. He had told me recently to just put an end to it. It's never going to work. It'll never happen, no matter what she says, and that's what I did. Because no matter how much she wants it to work, she ruined her chance of me ever trusting her again. So I was listening to the devil and thinking that I could really hear her out, that she's changed, but I know that's false. And she's proved time and time again since me leaving that we talk it out, try to talk it over, and it's always something ends up showing me that she's not growing as a person, and she's never going to. So I just completely cut that off.
So you blocked her and everything?
Yeah.
You need to work on you, man. It's all about you. Those people have their problems too, but you're trying to get something from your mama, from this woman, and everybody that they don't have. They don't have love. Women do not have love to give. They only have hate. Women receive love from men, and men receive their love from God. And so you need to start, you need to drop all, try to help your mama, your girlfriend, or anyone, and work on you at this point.
Yeah, I've been doing that, and I've come a long way now, and I've been more independent now than ever before, and I don't really feel I need anyone, but at the same time, I'm coming to terms with that maybe I never will have anyone.
why are you even thinking about having it anyway? You don't need to think about that. The only thing you need to think about is working on you. You don't need to think about, will I have someone or will you don't? Nobody has anyone, to be honest with you. And the people you see together, they're only together because they're trying to get something from one another, some type of emotional improvement or fake love. They don't even like one another. They're just trying to get something that you and this woman are trying to get from each other. Y'all didn't have it together. So don't worry about that. You just work on you, overcome this not you. You're not your thoughts. You're not your feelings. You're not your body. You just work on you, and everything, life will fall in place for you naturally.
So that also brings me to how you said you live in your own world, in your own reality, and not anyone else's. So basically, don't try to be influenced by anything out of me. And that's what I feel. I fall influenced to others having relationships, or what the rhetoric is pushed by the media, or whatever they tell you, this is what a happy life is. I basically don't pay any mind to that and stay within my own world.
Absolutely.
And what I feel is I'm being confused by these counselors that I go to, because they tell me that type of thinking is delusional, and do not feel that you are superior to anyone, but also don't think so highly of yourself. But I don't think that's correct. I think everyone should feel unique and know that they're unique. But they're trying to kill that. They're trying to tell me that uniqueness is a risky behavior and you shouldn't feel like you're unique.
But that's too much to be thinking about. That's intellectual BS, right? So what you need to do is keep it simple and realize your mother can help herself. Forgive her. She screwed you up, but you can overcome it. Have you forgiven your father?
No.
Why not?
Well, I just haven't had that conversation with him.
Why not?
I talk to him even less than I talk to my mother. So
why?
I should have that conversation with him, because he's also very cruel and a very big part in another resentment I feel, because he has always been a drinker and always been a verbal abuser, and he's gotten better now as old age has come, and he's a lot more.
He's been verbally abusive to you?
Yeah, he's a verbally abusive guy. He's grown up he was raised by Italians. He's a full Italian.
Give me an example of verbal abuse. I don't know what that is.
Calls you slurs or calls you names.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Just
forgive your father, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
Father,
need to call
I'm
him
sorry
and tell him that too.
Yeah, I'm sorry for resenting you. I got to run, but let me tell you this. And I'm sorry. Are you doing the silent prayer?
I'm going to start doing it now, that's for sure.
Are you doing the silent prayer?
I don't know it. I need to listen to it and know exactly what it is, because I don't know it. I'm new to you.
So are you doing the silent prayer?
No.
Oh, okay. Do the silent prayer. Go to rebuildingtheman.com/prayer.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, rebuildingtheman.com/prayer or silentprayer.video. Silent prayer. And start doing that immediately, and do it every morning, every night, and during the day, rather than thinking about yesterday or tomorrow. Keep your mind where your body is. Your body is always present, and that's where God is, and that's where all the answers will be, and they will make you free.
Okay, I'm going to do the silent prayer like you said, and I'm going to forgive my mother and forgive my father, and I'm going to do that, and then I'll give you a call back and tell you how that's going.
All right, and don't give your mother a dime. She's just going to use it for drugs.
Yeah, well, she wants to give me money, but I don't want to take it.
Nice. And just work on you for now, all right?
Okay.
And stay out of your head. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. That's why I'm telling you to do the silent prayer.
Yep.
Let me know how it goes, Vince. Vincent.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, buddy.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Amazing. Super chat. Oh, I forgot to let James know. While James coming in, Super chat. Let me go to, he's here. What the? Super chat.
Batman.
Batman.
That was better. Not quite right. Beta no more bought a coffee. I have proof mothers are evil. Try telling a mother I mentioned this, huh?
Yeah, you read that one.
Church was amazing, says Amazing Asia with a coffee. I watched it with my kids for the first time, and how ironic that y'all were discussing discipline. To my surprise, both kids agree that there should be spankings involved in discipline. Do they think they're missing something? I don't beat them, I just yell at them. Are they saying they would prefer spankings over yelling? What the?
Ask them and see what they're saying. What the? Stay with the fellowship. It's amazing fellowship. Mind blowing. We had the women's forum last week, and there are no words to say how the ladies are on it. It was mind blowing. Nice. Thank you.
Soul Conscious 5 coffees. Jesse, church was magnificent. Nice word. It is still amazing to know that all of our problems are spiritual. Thank you.
You're welcome, and all of your problems are inside of you. They're not outside of you. They're not the fault of anyone else. No one bring you their problems. Your problems are already there, and their problems are inside of them. So just watch it, stay with it, and become amazing. Thank you.
Amazing Asia with another coffee. Women usually like to sleep in 75 to 85 degrees, while men tend to like it cooler between 55 and 65 degrees. I woke up today and saw the thermostat on 60 and darn near lost my mind. That's why the hell comes out of us in the mornings. We're cold. Cold emoji with blue face. My husband would argue that we like it warmer because it's closer to the temperature at our daddy's house, eye roll emoji. But whatever, laughing face, scrunched face emoji.
Amazing. Thank you. That's mind-blowing.
Prep Ham Paul, monthly supporter, subscribed on Rumble. Thank you, man.
Prep Ham Paul.
Another beautiful day, indeed.
Another day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, another day.
I don't think that's quite the lyrics, but yes. Nice. I recognize the song, though, so you did a pretty good job.
See that? Thank you.
John Zimmer bought 10 coffees, was looking for green tea with honey, but all they got is coffee. What does kofi mean? That couldn't be why it's called coffee? Silly. I'm not sure I follow. I don't want. I'm afraid to look it up now. Riley JM bought a coffee. Thank you, Jesse and experts, for your guidance. Have any of you seen the movie The Shining? If so, what do you think the movie is portraying?
Pure hell. I stayed at the hotel. I didn't know I was staying there.
The real one, not the movie one?
Right. I stayed at the real Shining Hotel. And I didn't know it. Right. And I heard ghosts in my room. It was like, Jesse. No, it was like, help, help. I'm like, what the? And I turned the light on to see. I saw no one. I went back to bed. Help, help. I was like, Lord, let me get out of here. My fro stood up on my head. I went to the front desk. I'm like, I can't stay in that room. I hear noises. And then the lady told me, or the guy, whomever the desk, I forgot now, this is The Shining. People die here. I'm like, what?
Had you seen the movie? Whoa.
I had no idea. Come on, man.
So then you watched the movie afterwards?
I can't remember had I seen it. I may have seen it. I'm not sure. But I know I was at the Shining Hotel.
I know you haven't read the book.
No. That's for sure. But anyway, thank you.
Someone bought a coffee. Do you agree that even though we don't have free will, we are still responsible for our actions? It seems like liberals would like to use the truth of no free will to justify their evil to avoid taking responsibility. Does this concern you? What do you think?
I don't know what you mean by responsible for your action. If you're not in control, how can you be responsible? Call me about that. I appreciate it. It's an amazing question. It really is. Thank you.
Steven on YouTube says, Bond is better than 99% of counseling, and I've been a mental health professional for over 20 years. Yeah. Nice.
Amazing, because we point you back to truth, and it's the truth that makes you free, not us, not me or anyone. We just point you back to it, and you welcome that truth, it will make you free.
NF on Cash App, thank you. No message.
Thank you.
Chalice with 4 Cash App donations saying thank you. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Ivan or Ivan says thank you, Jesse. 4 exclamation marks, or maybe even 5 over on Cash App. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tim Scott, the real one, not the rhino, says Bible thumping on Thursday. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, Bible some of these are from last week late.
Bible thumper every Thursday.
DJ Khan says, thank you for all your hard work. Amazing.
Amazing. Thank you for your support.
Zuzu,
and help us, folks. If you're being helped, help. I shouldn't have to ask, all right? Thank you so much.
Zuzu CC on. Jesse Boo. Because I was raised differently, I've never lived with a man unless we're married. I am not about to kill my body with birth control and give him the cookie, the milk, and the cow with no marriage, wasting my time. He can get up and leave any time as long as men are able to provide. He can get a woman anytime, no matter what age. Women nowadays don't think like that. Some just like the financial relief of living together.
Darling, oh darling, when we get married, we'll have a great celebration. Send out invitations to all our friends and relations. We'll have a ball, dancing and all when we get married.
Very nice.
Just wait and see. Our wedding date is not very far. Amazing. Thank you.
Someone bought you 3 coffees. The topic is free will. Did God give man free will because otherwise he would have no love for man that was worthy of the name love? If nobody was choosing to love him, if we all just loved him like a dog loves his master, that is not love unless you are Hassan's dog. 2, is there no power over any choice? No power over any choice? Is there no power? I know I can't will myself to have perfect peace, no anger or loneliness. However, for an example, it felt like a choice yesterday to speak out when I found my wife imposing an illogical condition on our children. Then after I spoke, I felt like I made a choice to drop it. Felt like a process of choosing when I found the line separating speaking out and arguing with the devil, which would have led to who knows where if I did not choose differently. Just an example, but generally the ability to choose whether to escalate seems like part of why some violent people go to prison. At least some of them could have chosen differently. Others are freed by Soros DAs. An octopus emoji. Whoa, I disavow that. Dog whistle. Anti-Semitic dog whistle. Even though it doesn't exist.
That's a lot, but you don't have a free will. Amazing. Thank you.
And shout out to the top contributors, GMD Jim, Grandpa Daryl, and Wrinkle Hands Bing Bong. Appreciate you guys for the Lemons, Ice Cream, Diamonds subscriptions on DLive.
Thank you.
And thanks, guys. I do believe that's all for now.
Amazing. Thank you so much. The Hake report is coming up at the top of this hour. Let me go to... I can't go to anyone.
There's one more super chat. Elijah Bless bought a coffee. I would never cheat or lie or steal on my plugs. They always make sure I'm taken care of more than these women.
What?
That's what I said. Hopefully it's not something bad that I just read out loud.
I don't understand that at all. But thank you for the super chat. I am so out of time. The Hake. Thank you all for the super chat. The Hake report is coming up now. The Hake report. Get on the straight and narrow. Overcome evil with good. Stop attacking. You're messing with the images of God. We're all created in his image. Don't do it.
Oh.
What you do to others, you're doing to yourself. Do the silent prayer, go and forgive.
He was talking about his drug dealer.
Oh, what the? Ray out of Hampton, Virginia. Somebody just dropped. Jerry, a first-time caller out of Georgia on my mind. Chuck out of New Jersey. Jeff, a first-time caller out of Ohio. I am so out of time, but the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. I'll be back on Tuesday. Tomorrow is Country Western Tuesday. Get on the street and narrow, folks. Everything you're looking for is in you. You are your world. You're not the world. And it's not our world. You are your world. Do the silent prayer. Have a good day. Amazing. Take care, folks.
Check. I had to get on the track one time. Joel Friday here. Check. Look, stand up. Stand up, we got fighting to do. We gotta show him who boss. He put a Viking in you. He put that lightning in you. Igniting the truth. But you beg and blame and lie and hate and never wanna stand for the truth. So what you planning to do? You understand in the lose. You better go talk to your mama. Better stop at the drama. Better drop all the trauma. Boy, you better stand up and up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if we don't, then we lose. And then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa. So you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause you must know thyself so you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way.
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. Anytime you have situations happening in your life, always be still. Don't overreact. Most of the people that I know, they say, oh, I know Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm an observer. And as soon as something don't go their way, they get mad. I'm like, what the? If you overreact, folks, remember to do that. Don't overreact. And when you get mad, it's your problem. It ain't your wife's problem, your husband's problem, your neighbor, your friend, your preacher, your teacher. It's your problem. Why you think you tick? It didn't go your way or the way you think it should go. Don't have a way you think it should go. Let life just happen. Thoughts make you think that life should go the way you want it to go. And if it doesn't, if someone don't do or say or act the way you think they should act, you hate them. And then you blame them for being mad. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. But it's amazing to see it. So relax.